Everyone, I hope you're well. Happy Thursday, I believe it is today. I'm just going to get up the right screen on here. Sorry, guys, 1 second. There we go. So, big thank you for joining us. I'm just going to check as well. I know we had a few issues the other day in regards to the screen disappearing off 20 minutes to go. So, I'm currently watching this as well on my YouTube to make sure I'm seeing what you guys should be seeing. So I'll just have another little look just to make sure we are live. And yeah, all appears to be good. So I hope you did all well, guys. Obviously, some of you may or may not have seen on the community today, I did drop a little post in just to say that obviously most of you know I've had a few issues. Nothing major. I've all been good since the electrocution in October, but unfortunately, I've had a lot of back issues that's gone on since I got defib. So this is me in my wheelchair today. I had to get an epidural in my back. So for all the mums out there, you'll know what an epidural is, and it's to basically give me a cortisone injection, but it's in a real tricky place. It's right in between my L2 and L3, right in my spine, and it's gonna hopefully get rid of the pain that I'm experiencing at the moment, which is super good. So hopefully in the next 48 hours I'll be up and running. But I didn't want to cancel the call. I like to keep things going, set a good example for all you players that no matter what the issues or problems are, you can always fight on and keep going. So we're going to get straight into it today, guys. Couple of little reviews. Uh, I've seen some great posts being posted over the past 48 hours. We had one from Matthew. He shared a little bit of his juggling snippet. And it is really, really good to see, guys, that we're all on here. And as you can see now, I'm liking the posts, making sure we're all liking, sharing, putting nice comments on there. Constructive comments are fine as well, guys. I don't want you to feel that it's all got to be all sunshine and roses. If you think, oh, look, Ray's actually said this and you should be doing it that way. That's not you having a go at someone. That's actually just a little bit of constructive, just feedback and help and support. And that's what we like. Also, a big one as well from Obrads, which is great to see. And I'm looking at some of the comments and the feedback that we're getting on here. So as I'm doing here, liking the posts, guys, remember every time you like a post. So if we're having a look at Obrads again, if we're looking at his planner, give it a like, give it a little bit of a comment. What it's going to do for you, not for me because I'm the administrator, but what it will do for you as a player just by putting a nice little comment on. When we look at the leaderboards, okay, it's going to give you points for the leaderboard. So, as you can see, the 7-day challenge is getting closer. I can see Xavier Simon is creeping in on Khaleesi, and this is good to see. Good competition. But once we get below Joshua Vela and Jake Watson, Roddy Mitchell Davis, it really drops off, guys. So look, try to engage as much as you can. Try and do a post a day, and you should be doing a post a day because you should be putting your daily planners in at a minimum. You should be logging your objectives at least once a week. You should be logging your beep tests at least once a month. You should be logging your blueprints at least once a month. And anything else that you want to share. Remember, excuse me, guys, we should be sharing our successes, but also share failures. Tell me one thing that's gone wrong. Put it on the community. Like what absolutely went crazy. Like what went crazy? Like what didn't go well? And just give it like the best answer that you can give it. That's going to be the best way to have a go at it. So just a couple of other things on here again that I want to mention. We had a great one about stretching and warming up and down that we got from Obrad, and I put a quite detailed, lengthy response in. Now, a lot of my stuff comes out of the Premier League because I still speak a lot to ex-colleagues, strength and conditioning coaches, and sports scientists. And I've had it in the past where you guys get a lot of convoluted information back from team members, like saying, at your clubs, the soccer teams that you're at, that your particular person at your club has said something different. Okay. Always float that back in here and we can get that checked out. I can get it checked with my team. But trust me, I would be listening to the guys who are working with Premier League superstars day in and day out. They know a little bit more than most when it comes to football. Great to see as well, again, daily planners being posted, and again, seeing some amazing comments and feedback. And again, give everything a little bit of a like and pick yourself up some extra points along the way. Okay, so it's all going to go towards the leaderboard. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to showcase two things in particular today, but the first one we're going to look at, I'm going to just come here and I'm going to see if I can find this particular comment. And I think this was from Xavier. Okay, so I was wondering if sliding tackles in a defensive position are a good thing, or is it keeping your feet a good thing? I think that's what he's trying to ask. So I'm going to cover this one off because this goes back to a little bit about the one percenters. So when we speak about the one percenters, we've spoke about this before, that some of the one percenters are really, really, really important. And we need to make sure that we are thinking about the one percenters. Now, for me, as a defender, I think this is something that we've got to make sure that we cover off. So what I'm going to do is, if you bear with me, guys, now, also, can I get you guys to help me out a little bit? I don't have a lot to discuss in today's call. One, because I've been in hospital all day and I've only just come home. And two, I haven't seen too many questions coming in. So I will have a little look on this particular post as well to see if we've got any questions on here. But I think it's just a lot of well wishes for me. And a big thank you to everyone who did send me well wishes, but thank you to everyone as well for your general support. And I'm just going to reply for this one. All sessions are recorded inside school. If you click on section number, I'm going to make this a little bit of fun. And what we're going to do is the first person in the community to reply to Marcus for me and tell him what the number of the section is in Classroom, and also what it's called, where he can find the weekly calls, I will give you a $25 GOATS voucher. So first person to reply to Marcus with their school section, what number is it? And also, what is it called? And if you reply to Marcus, not to me, reply to Marcus, you will win a $25 GOAT voucher. So we'll come back to that one in a little minute to see who was the first one to reply to Marcus for me. And yeah, we'd love to give you the voucher for that one. So again, guys, if you can in the comments on YouTube, drop in any questions you want me to answer today. That would be great. That would be fantastic. We will have a little break in the middle, just to give everyone a chance to run the bathroom, get a drink, get a snack if you're still in the middle of dinner. I don't mind you eating, guys, while we're going through these sessions. It's a good way to get through. Uh, and then, yeah, hopefully someone will reply to Marcus for me and you'll win a $25 voucher. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open up my page on my Remarkable, and I will see if this technology is going to work, hopefully, from my bedroom where I'm currently lying. I'm flat on my back, and I think it will. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now walk us through a little bit about defending, staying on your feet, slide tackling, when and where you should and you shouldn't do it. So, one of the things that I want to make sure that we cover off on this particular element of the call is when we think about from a defensive point of view in this situation, where are we and what should we be thinking about? So, the core principles when you're at the top level, and let's say in the Premier League, and if we look at the core principles, this is what we teach defenders. And when we say defenders, we don't just mean someone who plays centre defender or plays left back. We're talking about defensive principles for the team as a whole. Okay. Now, some of you know this, we have covered it, but it's D, D, R. Now, in the comments in YouTube, can you tell me what the D and the D and the R stands for? And I'm going to come back to that in a minute. And I'm going to give a couple of special mentions to the ones who've got it. But we need to think about your defensive principles. Whether you're a goalkeeper, you're playing defense, you're a midfielder, you're an attacker, you're a wide player. Everyone firstly needs to understand D, D, and R. So if you think you know what D, D, and R stands for, put it in the comments for me, and I'll go back through those comments in a little bit, and I will explain what they are. Now, once you understand the principles and you know to defend as a team, whether you're Manchester City, Arsenal Football Club, Real Madrid, all the top teams in Europe, they all follow these principles. And I'll come back to what they are in a minute. Now, back to the question. To slide or not to slide? Now, I used to always say there's going to be moments in the game where it's so important to slide to win the ball. But after spending about 16, 17 years on development and focusing on what's better for you individually, what's better for the team, it all comes down to risk versus reward. And what I will tell you is that not to slide is about 99% of the time. And to slide, you should do this about 1% of the time. And I'm actually going to go through where and when you should and shouldn't slide and the principles that you should be following. So, DDR, let me give you the answers and let's see who got him first and let's see who got it right. So, for DDR, the first one is delay. The second one is deny. And the third one is restrict. Now, if we're solely talking about defending, okay, and we're on about defending a particular part of the pitch. So let's imagine we're going in this direction, okay? So this is the goal that we're shooting into. If you're here and you got an opposing player on the ball here and they're coming towards you, you should be focused on delaying them, denying them, and restricting them. So how do we delay them? The best way to delay anyone, it's called the 2 meter distance. And this is how it's taught at Premier League level. So what we need to have is between us and the player, this distance here needs to be 2 meters. Now, you might say, what happens if the player keeps coming towards you? Keep moving backwards. You start to retreat to keep the 2 meter distance between you and them. Now, admittedly, because you're in front of the player, they're not going to be able to sprint with the ball because the only way they're going to be able to sprint with the ball is if they decide to knock it out the feet into space. And if they do that, and you've got a 2 meter distance, the minute they pop that ball into space to have a run at you, and the ball's now there, you've got a 2 meter advantage on that player. So you don't need to worry because even if he's the quickest player on the pitch or she's the quickest player on the pitch, you're going to get them. The next thing we're going to speak about, and I'll just get rid of this little bit out for us, just so I can give you the next little part. We want to think about denying them space. And how we deny them space, okay, is by keeping them at a 2 meter distance. We're denying them space because what we're actually doing is by denying them space, we are slowing the player down. And when we slow the player down, when they're here and they're making the little run towards us and we're here, we're slowing everything down. Okay. So we're delaying them with a 2 meter gap. We're denying them space by slowing them down. And we want to restrict them, okay, from going in behind. We do not want to allow the attacker to get in a situation where they can get behind us with the ball so they've got a clear run towards our goal. This is what we need to stop. So delay, deny, restrict. Now, again, how do we stop them from getting in behind? We follow rule number one, 2 meter distance, and we keep the space the same and keeps them slowing down. And that way they can never get in behind. So hopefully that will allow you now to look at this and go, okay, that basically now means that I should be focused on not to slide in all the time. Because if you go sliding in at any point during this, that means you've removed the 2 meter distance, you've give them the space, and now you've allowed them to get in behind. So if you slide in, you are leaving yourself open. You're going to leave your team to get in a numerical disadvantage, and it's not going to allow. Now, I can hear you all asking me, when do you do the 1%? When is the 1% of time you would slide in? And this has got to be every player's choice to do this, but this would be my advice. And I'm going to clear the screen to show you this one. Now, let's imagine we are shooting in this direction again. So we're going this way, and the opposing team are on the attack, and somehow this player has broke free with the ball, and this player is moving in this direction towards your goal. Okay. And you are a player here, and you're trying to recover to catch the player. This would be the only time I would consider sliding in to win the ball. But the risk you run is you might actually, if you do it, you might get a yellow card, or even worse, you might get a red card. Now, with this one, I'm not encouraging any player to get a yellow or a red card. However, in your careers, I will give you an example. It is the UEFA Champions League final. You are playing for, sorry guys, I don't know what happened there. So you're playing for Liverpool, and you are playing against, sorry, I'll just reset this. My screen's just decided to go crazy. Just bear with me. So you're playing for Liverpool in the final, and you're playing against Real Madrid. Now, in your team, Liverpool are winning 1-0, and we've got 2 minutes to go, and it's going to be the last chance for Real Madrid to score. If you bring this player down and you win the ball and you slide, congratulations. You pick up the ball, you go on and win the game. However, you slide in, you run the risk, you might get a red card. It might be you going off, then it's a free kick here for Real Madrid. As a team, Liverpool now can get all the players behind the ball. They can set up defensively strong, and they go out and win the game. So for me, this would be the only 1% when you would consider sliding in to try and win a ball. So hopefully that answers your question. Now I'm going to have a little look and we'll have a look to see what we got in regards to DDR and if we got some of the right answers. Did we get delayed and I restrict? And also, again, a big thank you to my friend Xavier in Perth in Australia for another amazing question. And hopefully everyone now understands that whether you are a striker, you're a goalkeeper, you are actually a defender, no matter what position you play, you are actually able to now fully understand what you are required to do. So what I will do on here is I'm just going to connect in here. I'm just going to have a little look at some of the comments on the questions. So a big hello to everyone. Thanks everyone, guys, for sending me your well wishes. Thank you. I'm good. I'll be good to go in the next 48 hours once this cortisone hits me back. We've got a great one in from, I think, Matthew. Can you please give me some general position and tips as a winger? Yes, we will get to that next. That is a fantastic question. That's one of my favourite positions to work with, is with wide players. This is Josh. Delay, denied, and retain. Close, not too bad. Delay, deny, restrict. The first is delay. That was a good answer. I love it. Delay, deny, and restrict, no matter what position you're in. Exactly that. So that's what we're looking for, team. No matter where you play, delay, deny, restrict. Don't ever slide in. And unless it's the Champions League final and you're 1-0 up and you're trying to recover back, that might be a decision that you decide for the greater good of the team. It's better to bring the player down, run the risk of getting a red card, but we go on and win the Champions League final. It could go the other way, though. You could can see the free kick, get sent off, they score, then it goes to extra time and you lose because you're down to 10 men. But that's the risk and the reward side of it. So big thank you. Who's watching Liverpool v Arsenal in the morning? I'm not, because it's not going to be on. It's just been announced by the Met Office in the UK. I think for safety reasons, it's going to be called off in the next 2 hours. They've got a lot of snow and a lot of ice going through. So at the moment, it's looking like the game's definitely not going to go ahead for safety reasons, which actually is probably a good thing for Liverpool because they're missing about 6 players at the moment. And Arsenal are fully stacked. So I'd be quite happy for that to be postponed till March. But if it does go ahead, it wouldn't surprise me with the weakened team if Liverpool won 4-0, because that's how football works sometimes. It's a strange game. So what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to put you to a very, very quick ad break. When we come back, I am going to go through Matthew's question, I think it was, about general position and tips as a winger. And I've got the hottest tip in the Premier League on how you can be one of the best wide players in the game. I'll be back with you guys in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Go and get yourselves a drink, quick toilet break, get your dinner, get your whatever you're doing, snacks, and we'll see you back in a couple of minutes. Everyone, welcome back again. I'm just going to go back to the screen so I can share my remarkable with everyone. So we'll just get back onto this screen, and we're going to answer Matthew's question. If you didn't see what Matthew's question was, it's on the notes on YouTube, and I'll read it back out again in a moment. I'm just going to try and reconnect my screen again so I can just present and show to you all. So just bear with me for a couple of seconds. We should be good to roll. There we go. So, yeah, an amazing question. And I love these questions, guys. So, can you please give me some general position and tips as a winger, please? Thanks. So, this is one where I think we can really uh, get such a huge advantage over the opposing teams. So, what I'm going to do is very quickly, I'm going to put in the opposition, and this is us. So, we'll put in our goalkeeper, and we'll put in our centre backs here as circles. We'll put in our full back, our left back's a little bit high. We're playing a three with a holding mid, two attacking. Okay. And then we've got a nine, a seven, and we've currently got the 11 tucked all the way across. So, our opposing team, we got set up. We're going to have our centre backs. We'll have the left back, the right back. We're going to have a flat foot across the middle of the park. And then we've got two strikers. And I'm just going to give you this as a little example. Now, what we see here is we've got the ball is in possession. So there's two things we need to focus on. When our team is in BP, which is ball possession, or BPO, which is ball possession opponents. So let's focus on number one. Let's focus on here for now. So when we're in possession. Now, let's imagine if these are our four defenders and we got our holding mid. And let's imagine this is you. You're playing up in the 11th. Okay. Now, your coach has told you whenever we're defending or whenever the ball's on the opposite side of the pitch, this is what all the coaches say in Australia and the USA, and it drives me insane. I want you tucked in. I want you tucked in and tight. Let's tuck in. And this is what we get all the time. And I'm telling you now, it's the biggest load of nonsense and rubbish ever. Never tuck in when your team is in possession of the ball. What you should be doing is, if you're this player here, I want you to do one thing. I want you to be out here, and when the ball comes to this spot here, I want you to make a little bit of a run in towards your halfway line. So these defenders have got eyeballs on you, and then I want you to make this run and position yourself there. And this is going to be you in this position. So you've made that run, you've gone in front of defender one, defender two, and defender three have all seen you, and defender four. Now, defender one, two, and three will pass you off to defender four. But what you've just done from this simple movement is you've now isolated number four and you've got the golden ticket. And in football in the Premier League as a wide player, what we call the golden ticket is to be able to get yourself in a one versus one. And if you can get yourself in that situation, we literally need the ball. And if we're clever with the build up play, and this is where your coaches can be good, the ball can go into there. Normally it will get bounced into there. Then it'll come back into there. So they're drawing these attackers in. We're drawing the opposition out. And then all of a sudden, that ball will get played into you there in a 1v1 situation. And that is the golden ticket. That is what we are looking for. So that's ball possession. So this is when our team are in ball possession. That's one little movement that we could use as a wide player. I'm going to give you the second scenario. And we're still talking about the same thing. We're still talking about ball possession. All right, so we're still in possession. We've got our goalkeeper. Okay, now what we're going to do and what we're going to look at on this side, we'll put in the opposing players as well. Well, imagine we've got the ball is there, and this is our holding mid. He's in possession, and our defender's a little bit higher now. So we've got good shape. Our goalkeeper's moved up to here. Okay, we've got our 6 and 8 up here, and we've got our wide players who are out nice and wide here, and then we've got our attacking player. Now, one of the things that is great information is your communication. If this is you, is your communication with this person and this person. Now, I would advise you, especially with this person here, the number 9, I would have a little conversation with that player before kick-off to say, if I give you this particular signal, and the signal might be that you show them the number 1 with your hand. So you might literally just show them a 1, literally wave one finger at them. And what that does is you might have agreed a trigger for this player to come into your space, and you then go into their space temporarily. What it's going to do is with the opposing defenders, it's going to put them at disarray. They're not going to know what's going on. And all of a sudden, these guys are watching what this guy's doing here. This guy is now watching you moving over here. So it starts to really disrupt. And what this does is it doesn't necessarily allow you to get on the ball, but what it does is if we just put all of these players back into play again, if I just rub this out quickly, what it does is it forces these players to end up looking a bit like this, and they end up a little bit advanced. And it creates not only a huge space of opportunity for you to get into as a wide player, it actually forces this player to come across and cover. So this player now all of a sudden has found him or her there. And the real opportunity, this is what we call the unselfish work of a wide player. It's now created this pocket of space for your two teammates there and there to attack and to get into. So there are two really quick examples I can give you. One where you're trying to get in a space to get on the ball, and one where you're doing unselfish work by making runs internally, by distracting the defenders, and by forcing your 9 to make runs into your space. And then you would swap back over within a few seconds. So it's going to really put these defenders into following you and being focused. And all of a sudden, we've now got this new space to attack into. So hopefully that'll give you a couple of ideas. Now, the final part, and it's one thing that I always want to mention as a wide player and about good attack and wide play. Good attack and wide play only works on this basis. We've got ball possession opponents, and then back to ball possession. So we've got the ball, we've lost it, and we've got it back. But what happens here is what's called transition. And that means we've transitioned from being in attack to defense. Now, we need to transition quickly back from defense to attack. But the only way we can do that is by what we do here. And this is why, Matthew, I want you to focus on the work you do on the ball here, but I also really want you to focus on what you do off the ball. I've covered this before, you probably know this, but for me, let's imagine this is our goalkeeper. This is our back four. We got holding mid, centre mid. We got the 9, the 7, and the 11. And you're caught slightly out of position up here. The opposing team now have got the ball here, and this is the ball, and they're trying to get into this space. What do you do here to help this end? We want to end the attack to defense, and we want to go from defense to attack. Remember, we need a numerical advantage, and the best thing you can do is make a run as fast as you can, staying away from the player with the ball and getting back in here as if you are a centre back. Now, how is it possible to do this on a football pitch? Well, it involves doing doggies and fitness and endurance. What's one of the things I get used to do on the platform 3 times to give me a reading of your base level? And what's the same thing I want you to do 2 to 3 times a week? If you know the answer, put it in YouTube in the comments. What's the one thing that helps you with this in the game? So first one to drop it in the comments, I'll give you a bit of a shout out as well to show that you're paying attention. But I'll give you the answer now. It is your beep test. If you do your beep test 2 to 3 times a week, this particular action here will be easy peasy. Then we're in a numerical advantage. Once we're in a situation where we're in a 5 versus 3, a 6 versus 4, then we can then look to go and try and win the ball. But remember, when we look to win the ball, it's delay, deny, and restrict, because this is going to allow more numbers to get behind the ball. So hopefully, Matthew, you enjoyed that, mate. That was, again, a fantastic question. I've given you an example of 2 in BP. Then we need to think about BPO to then get back into BP. Okay, so hopefully, Matthew, that's give you a couple of more ideas. Again, these sessions are recorded, Matthew. My advice would be go into the video on YouTube, screen record this particular bit. If you want to do something nice for the community, drop it in the community and go, I asked Ray this question and this is what I got. And this is a valuable tool. Drop it in there, share it, send it to teammates, and it's going to help everyone get a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to jump back into my screen. I've obviously not bringing myself on the live screen tonight because I'm currently laid flat on my back because of the surgery, small surgery, epidural I had to have today. But I will very, very quickly get you back to this screen. So again, classroom, if we go to the dugout and if we go to the beep test, it tells you how to do your foundational beep test. There's a video. It gives you how to set it up with the distances. There's the football blueprint to log all your scores in. This is a Premier League level and standard. And now, if you're aged 13 and you're a girl, best thing you can do is message me and say, Ray, I'm 13 and I'm a girl. What's the standard for me? And I'll give you it. I'll tell you what the standard is. I'll DM it straight back to you. But don't DM me, drop it in the community and I can share it with everyone. And everyone gets the benefit. And then what to do next and how to set that up. So hopefully that's helped everyone. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to drop back out to here. I'm going to have a little look at all of the great questions we've got. I'm going to leave. Let's see if this works. Does this work? The magic? It certainly does. It leaves my website on the screen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little look and let's have a little read at some of the comments. So the D is delay. We got that before. There was no sound during that ad break yet. Apologies about that, guys. It's because I'm connected in with my headphones at the moment, but hopefully you're all getting my sound loud and clear via the headphones. Yeah, well done. Beep test, Xavier got in there first. Fantastic. Mr. Davis got beep test as well. Khaleesi got beep test. Uh, beep test says Christian, well done. Great for Christian. I'm also a winger too, Xavier. So, guys, what are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about the word play and the advice that I've just given you? Does it sink in? And have you noticed the way it all links into the DDR? It links into the defensive side because you've got to think about that number one word in football beginning with T, transition. There's going to be moments where you're attacking, there's going to be moments where you're defending, and vice versa. So a big, big, big thank you for that one. Now, we have only got a few minutes left. We've got about 10, 15 minutes to go. Now, I'm hoping that you guys have got some more questions in there for me. What I am going to do is I'm going to drop very quickly to a quick ad break, and hopefully the ad break will have some sound for you this time, and we'll be back with you in 2 minutes. But guys, please drop in one or two extra additional questions. Give me something to cover off for the last 15 minutes. And somehow I've managed to get being in a wheelchair, surgery, and I've managed to do a weekly call all in one day. I'll be back with you guys very, very soon, and I'll leave you with this little ad.
Don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats Grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Goats Grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable. Definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time. In these, are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around the shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match.
Hi everyone, I hope you're well. A big thank you for joining us. So we are back again now for the last couple of minutes before we finish off for the night and for this evening. If you're in Brisbane, Australia, or on the East Coast, if you're in the USA, it's a little bit later on. And if you're in the UK and Europe, it's obviously a lot earlier into the morning. So I did ask someone to help me before because we had Marcus Bain ask, will the session be recorded? And we got someone, Mr. Shooty, he said it's on number 9 and it's called the weekly coaching calls. I don't know if he's right. Let me check this. Let's go in classroom, section number 9, weekly coaching calls. Well done, Shooty. That means you've got yourself a $25 voucher for Goats. Shooty, all you need to do, DM me in here, say, Ray, can I get me Goats code? I'll send you the Goats code. And you can get onto the Goats Elite website and get yourself some amazing products on there. I am going to drop back very, very quickly to the questions. I just want to see if there's any other questions on there. So there's nothing else on there at the moment. I will have another quick look on, I believe I did drop a one on last week for last Tuesday. And I just seem to remember that there was a couple of questions on this particular one. I'm going to see if I can pull up any other questions. So I think we have managed to cover off all of the questions over the past couple of weeks. I think we've done all those ones for Jake as well. So what I'll do is, guys, I will drop back onto the screen quickly. I'll see if anyone else. So actually, I've just seen a question come in. Hey, Ray, Do you recommend using StatSports Academy training session to train, as I have started to use them and found them useful? So the answer is 100% yes. As you know, StatSports are our partners, that are preferred provider for GPS trackers. They are the #1 GPS tracker on the planet. But also, guys, the best way I would treat this particular question that we got would be, what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to drop this as a community question, as if I've sent it myself, because this is a great one. So let me just jump into community. I'll write something in here. And what I will do is I'll go into a little bit more detail on that one. And subject that we'll put this one under, we'll put it under live weekly coaching calls. And I will put a more detailed answer on this one in a little bit. And what I'll do is, to make sure I don't miss it as well, silly me, I need to make sure I share it to me so I won't forget, and I'll answer that a little bit later on, but I will answer it verbally on the call now. So what I would do is 100% I would use the StatSports Academy. I don't push it because there is a cost involved with it, and I think it's like, don't quote me, but I think it's like $20-$30 a month. If it was you that dropped that question, and if you want to drop the cost into this thread of this community chat, I'd be interested to see what they do charge. But I think for me, if you can financially afford it, I would definitely be on it. But I would focus on this in particular. And what I would focus on in particular would be, bring it all the way back to here, classroom, section number 12, how many hours a week, and build this in to your football hours. So when you're going into this particular question, I would really focus this on how many hours, section 12, and make sure this is part of football only hours. Now, what I would say is, once you've worked your hours out and you know if you've got a shortfall, rather than going to the dugout, you could use the StatSports Academy to mix it up a little bit and give you a little bit of a different flavour and a little bit of a different feel. But also you can use the dugout, and that's free of charge. So look, guys, I don't necessarily want you to be spending more money, but if you're in a position where you can afford to pay, and don't quote me, but I think it is around $20-$30 a month for it. So if that's within your financial realm, is there a benefit? 100%. Like, definitely there is a benefit to it. But remember, build it into your hours here. Make sure it's quality, not quantity. And away you go. And that'll be the best way to attack that one. So big thank you for that one. I'm just going to go back to my screen again, because I did seem to see there was another question. So I think that was the final question. I did get that one in. And I'm just trying to see. Guys, who was it who dropped that one in about the StatSports? Which player is it on our platform? If you want to drop your name in for me, just so I can tag you on that post as well. And I'll actually put a more detailed reply in for you as well on how you can build it out into your program, which is going to help you all as well. So if you want to drop that in the comments, because it says Sigma Scarlet, and I'm trying to work out who that is actually, if it is one of our full-time players or not. If it is one of our full-time players, just drop the name in and I'll make sure I tag you in the post as well. So guys, I'm not seeing any other questions on there. What I will do is I'm just going to drop back out quickly. A couple of things I wanted to do. We did update about the leaderboards. So Khaleesi's still on top on the all-time, the 30-day and the 7-day. However, Xavier, all the way in Perth, is starting to get a little bit of headwind. Again, if you want to try and catch up and engage more, remember, drop a community post in. Make it engaging. Make the post say, like you've seen with me, who's going to win the World Cup, but what continent are they from, what country, and who's going to be the standout player. Things like that, that's going to really drive everyone else to get involved. And your post could earn you 500, 600, 700 points from one post. And it's got to be an engaging post, guys. Like this one I put on, super engaging. We've had 19 votes there. We've had a vote there. We've had lots of comments all the way through. So these are the things that you should be thinking about. But also, guys, the best way to get an engaging comment, drop a post in the community to someone called Raymond Wood, because everyone follows me, and ask me a question and I'll do a video response, and let's get the community chatting, because the more we chat, the more we learn on here. Guess what? You become a better football player and you become a better person, and that's going to be super useful for everyone. Players, mums, dads, coaches, we want to help everyone on here. So guys, look, a big thank you for joining us. I am going to end the call now because we've got no more questions in there. And yeah, I've somehow managed to do 53 minutes with about 2 litres of cortisone in my back and and needles that I've had today. But a big thank you for bearing with us, guys, and a big thank you that obviously apologies I didn't share my screen and face today, but I'm just a little bit uncomfortable lying here at the minute. But we pushed through, we got through it, and a big thank you for joining us. And yeah, I'll finish off with this ad, and I look forward to seeing you all on Saturday on our next live call, and then we've got podcast Sunday on Sunday as well, which is going to go for around about 3 hours, and we've got some exciting news about that. Big thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing you all very soon.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Goats grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.